Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Kelly Camps. I'm back at the campground I was at for my first trip. I plan on doing some biking. As you could see during the intro, I have my bike on my car. I'm spending one night out here and I'm going to just take you along with me. Thanks for watching. Setting up my table. This is such a neat little table. It folds down to nothing. Changed my setup a little bit. Last time I came out, I had a cot. The cot worked okay, except that I found the back of my car is not level. So I kept sliding down and hitting the door. So I built a platform, which worked out really well because I'm able to put my 2 storage containers under there. And it just puts me a little closer to the roof. So we'll have to see how tonight goes. So the plan for tonight is to take a ride. I'll probably ride about 30 minutes. I do want to explore some of the other campsites here at this campground and see if there's somewhere I would like to try to stay at another time. And then I'll come back and make some dinner and just enjoy the evening. Well, I managed to get a fire going, even though it's really just kind of damp and punky out here, which is great because I'll actually be able to cook my dinner instead of eating one of the survival meals I have. Had a little change in plan. It started raining and e-bikes, electric bikes, and rain don't get along very well. So I brought my bike back and I covered it up, as you can see. And the rain has stopped for now, but I'm probably not going to ride again tonight, so I'll get the bike locked up and then tomorrow I'll take a longer ride. I keep sprinkling on and off, so I thought I'd better get started on my dinner. I have tortilla chips, a hot dog I'm gonna cook over the fire. I have some salsa, and instead of buying mustard and onions, I was at a gas station and they had these by the hot dog, so I just picked some up. Thought it was easier than bringing mustard and chopping up onion for my hot dog. Well, the weather's kind of cleared up. It really looked like it was going to rain some more. So I'm going to take a ride around the campground and just look at other sites to see because I'm close enough to where I live, I can camp out here pretty much whenever I want. This part of the campground is basically completely deserted right now. Kind of glad I didn't camp over here. It's a little scary being by yourself like that. Getting a little chilly, so I'm gonna head back to campsite and sit by the fire and enjoy the evening and maybe do some reading, but definitely want to warm up. Riding this bike is a little chilly. As I sit warming myself by this fire, I'm just really grateful to be able to have a life in which I'm able to get out and camp and be out in nature when I want. I'm very fortunate to be in a situation that I have this type of freedom, and I try not to take that for granted. If you don't have that type of freedom in your life, which I didn't for a long time, I still would encourage you to get out and take time for yourself. I remember when my boys were young, I found it very difficult to find time for myself. We were very busy with school, with activities, with sports, and I lost myself sometimes. I was a mom. And then as they grew, I started finding myself again and really developed even a more intense love of being able to be out and camp and hike and bike. And those things have come to me later in life because there was a long period of time that I just didn't have the freedom to do those things. When I was in my early 20s, I did quite a bit of camping and hiking, and then just got caught up in career, marriage, kids. But I found myself caught up just in being a mom, which was great. It was some of the greatest years of my life, the time I spent with my sons doing all the things. But the fact that they're at an age now that they don't need me to be around all the time, and I just am really grateful to be able to be healthy enough and free enough to be able to get out and do the things I love. I got the fire going, and I'm just going to relax this morning and drink my Celsius and read a bit before I get going on making my coffee and making my breakfast. Just so quiet out here this morning, just listening to the bird songs, and had a little robin running around my campsite a little bit ago. It's just so peaceful. I'm really enjoying this. I don't make bacon for breakfast very often at home, but there's just something about camping and being outside and that smell of bacon that really evokes a feeling of camping for me. I had someone ask me how I do my dishes. So I'm going to kind of take you through that. The first thing I need to do is heat up water so that I have hot water. So I just use my electric kettle for that. Now that the water has boiled, I'm going to pour it into my sink that I got at REI. I already put some water in there, but this is good hot water. And now I can start washing my dishes. Now that I have my sink set up, I am ready to wash. I like to use this Dawn Power Plus because I can just spray it on the dishes. And I'm actually allergic to a lot of other dish detergents, so this works best for me. So I literally just get in the hot water. That water is nice and hot. And I start washing my pots and pans. I like to do the greasy stuff last because it tends to make the other dishes greasy when you do them first. So I have a towel set up next to me, and I literally just wash and air dry the dishes. So this is from my hot dog last night. I did not wash it last night. And I use some water just to rinse as I go. So it's out of a jug. So just rinse a little bit. And that's how I do my dishes. When I got up this morning, I didn't think I was going to be able to ride my bike today. It gets cold when you're riding at a pretty decent speed. As the morning has progressed, it's warmed up quite nicely. I don't think it's going to rain this morning. So I'm going to sit and enjoy the fire, read my book for a while, and then I'm going to take you on a bike ride. Well, I decided it'd be a good idea to pack everything up before I headed out on my bike ride. I figure if I'm tired, when I get back from my ride, I can just load my bike up and head home. Time to ride my bike. On the trail. Isn't that gorgeous? I love getting to ride along the river. I prefer to walk my bike over this bridge. It's pretty narrow. As you can see, it is absolutely gorgeous here with limestone cliffs and beautiful running water. During the summer, when the water gets really low, a lot of people like to come and wade in this water. This is the other campground at this state park. I've never stayed at this one. It's pretty wide open and they don't have a shower house. This is my favorite part of this trail. It's really close to the road, but all the trees really dampen the sound. But I just love how thick the woods are here and just how green it is. When the sun is shining, it's like the air is actually green. The sun decided to make an appearance. I love this sun-dappled trail. It's so pretty. According to my app, I rode 16.5 miles. It took me about an hour and a half to ride that. I just want to thank you for coming along with me again today for this episode of Kelly Camps. And I'm hoping you'll join me for my next episode. The next episode will not be camping, but the episode after that, I will be camping with friends. So it'll be a very different feel, a very different experience. And I'm really looking forward to that trip. Have a great week and get out and just enjoy nature.